Rasa Kish ada beberapa stat-stat istimewa yang nak dikongsikan berkaitan dengan Van de Beek.
Tak, dia bukan stat istimewa. It's more about Donny van de Beek punya reputasi di global football sekarang ni dah merudum selepas dia gagal mendapatkan tempat dalam kesebelasan pertama dengan konsisten di Man United. Seolah-olah semua dalam bola sepak ni kita ada short term memory. Bila seorang individu tu tidak beraksi dengan baik untuk tempoh 12 bulan, kita dah lupa apa yang dia buat sebelum tu.
Betul.
David Moyes adalah mangsa paling ketara kan. 2-3 tahun dia tak perform as a manager, kita terus lupa ability dia bersama Everton. Longer than that, yeah, but kita lupa the past, right? So dalam konteks Donny van de Beek, kita tak boleh lupa apa yang dia buat bersama Ajax. And ada dua benda yang selalu orang sebut pasal Donny van de Beek. Dia tak main dekat Premier League, tak perform ni, satu sebab tak ada tactical keserasian tactical bersama manager-manager di Man United. Aku lebih percaya yang ni berbanding dengan yang kedua yang seringkali dikatakan tentang Donny van de Beek, which is that he is not a physical player. Pandangan aku, I think that doesn't make sense. Sebab first thing, dekat Premier League, there are already so many other players who are smaller than him, who are less intense than him, and they have made a home out of the place. David Silva, Juan Mata, semua lebih kecil, semua not as aggressive as he is, tapi semua boleh thrive in the Premier League.
Tapi Ole yang cakap benda ni, Kish.
No, I don't necessarily buy into that.
But why do three managers feel this way now?
No, Ralph Rangnick has never said it's a physical
Ole said it.
No, sorry, but why do they feel this way about Van de Beek, where he's happy to let him go out?
So that's why I was saying, pandangan aku is it's more to a tactical adjustment situation. It's keserasian tactical. It's a can you adapt to the styles of football that these managers want to play?
It's Solskjaer.
Yeah, I agree. So I think
Rangnick.
I wouldn't consider Carrick thing because it's a bunch of few games. But I want to point this out here, right? This is in the Champions League, specifically this year because he's played a lot of games in the Champions League. Distance covered per 90, Van de Beek is ahead of every other Man United player. And there's a couple of additional facts that I want to top up to this, which is, if you remember a year ago when Man United had RB Leipzig in the group stages of the Champions League, there was a game in which Fred played for 90 minutes and he covered the most distance for Man United in that game. But coming second was Donny van de Beek, who played only 70 minutes.
That was a young boys game lah.
No, that was against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. And more importantly, right, people always say that he's not intense enough, that he's not aggressive enough, that he's not... When he played for Ajax in the Champions League between 2018 and 2020, dalam 2-3 musim bersama Ajax in the Champions League, distance covered per 90 dia adalah 11.3 km. The average Premier League player covers 10.5 km per 90 minutes. Wow. Maybe dari segi tubuh, he is smaller. Tapi he has bulked up in the last 12 months. There have been multiple reports about that. Tapi dari segi intensity, dari segi pressing, semua aku takkan doubt. Sebab even at Ajax, he was their third best final third presser. So, I think this physical story thing, number one, I don't think it's described well enough by Ole.
Yeah.
But number two, I don't necessarily trust a lot of the reports coming in about him not being physically adjusted to the Premier League. I think if he finds the right manager to play him in the right role under the right system, physicality is not an issue.
Yeah. So it goes to show, based on apa yang Kish share dengan kita orang tadi dari segi stats dia, dari segi distance covered dia, yang dia sebenarnya boleh bermain position CDM tu.
You run, okay, great. What are you contributing to the game apart from that?
Okay, so I'll go back because I'm very interested in what Kish shared just now, especially kalau dalam cakap dalam konteks, even the stats showed dalam konteks bila Manchester United bermain Champions League game. So let's go back to that game against Young Boys where he played in that particular game, right? And how, whatever the numbers that you can see from the game, he was busy linking up the play between defense and attack. So he was busy recovering the ball and making advanced passes to the ones in front of him. Nak cakap daripada numbers dari segi attacking play, you cannot take so much from him because first, I think you needed more minutes for you to contribute to attacking numbers. That's one. When you were so busy doing all this defensive thing that you were doing in that particular game, that's why I rasa macam I came across this theory on shared by one of the analysts, right? There's a possibility untuk dia dengan Dele Alli akan bermain dalam kesebelasan utama dekat Everton. Bila dia tak akan bermain dalam posisi yang sama, he can contribute so much in that defensive position as well. At the same time, linking out the play.
That's why aku tak setuju bila Burn cakap tadi yang Donny van de Beek hanya boleh main nombor 10. Tidak. Donny van de Beek di Ajax ada main nombor 6, ada main nombor 8, ada main nombor 10, all in the same season.
Tempat kegemaran dia adalah nombor 10.
No, he likes to play number 10 but he can play anywhere across midfield.
I'm saying this because dia meluahkan benda tu.
Donny van de Beek adalah seorang pemain yang aku akan kategorikan sebagai movement player. Dia takkan stand out when you watch him with your naked eye. In that Ajax team, the players who stood out were not him. Hakim Ziyech yang stood out. Frankie de Jong yang stand out with his composure. Matthias de Ligt stood out dengan aggressiveness at the back. Tapi Donny van de Beek was the glue that got them gelled together in the midfield.
Correct.
Sebab dia adalah pemain yang akan melakukan larian-larian yang akan membuka ruang buat pemain-pemain lain.
Tapi ada satu stat juga yang mengatakan gol-gol dia juga yang membantu Ajax pada musim tersebut.
It did, yeah.
And it was his passing range and it was his position at in that number 10 position that did a lot of good for Ajax throughout that whole period when him, Ziyech, the League and all that were still in the same team.
Tapi banyak game yang Ziyech main nombor 10, dia main nombor 6 pun it looked really good.
Ya, tapi
really good. Yeah.
Aku cerita based on apa yang dia luahkan sebab baru-baru ni dia ada menceritakan he was talking about the fact that he's comfortable playing the position.
Yeah.
Lampard understands me.
Sometimes some players for me just maybe aren't suited to the Premier League. Now Donny van de Beek could be a huge hit at Everton, we don't know. I'm looking at someone like Sebastian Haller. He wasn't great in the Premier League, but he is killing it right now in the Champions League. There's no doubting it. And we'll have to see. Only time will tell when it comes to Donny van de Beek, but I find it really fascinating that Ajax side. Ziyech has not been a huge hit at Chelsea. There have been players who have been more important than him. The League, not great at Juventus.
Haven't lived up to the expectations.
Yeah, Frankie de Jong, we know what Barcelona are going through right now, and Donny van de Beek. So I think that Ajax team really needs to step it up.
So someone explored this thing in an article I remember very recently and talked about how I think off the cuff when you look at it, even my general thought process was also macam tu yang all these players daripada Ajax tu tak meletup kat luar pun. Tapi realitinya kalau kita ambil kira, Frankie de Jong masuk satu tim Barcelona yang sedang melalui satu krisis yang besar. On top of that, dia jarang dapat peluang beraksi dalam posisi kegemaran dia, iaitu posisi yang Sergio Busquets sedang bermain. Matthias de Ligt masuk ke dalam squad Juventus just at the point yang diorang pun dah start and dia dah main bawah 3 different head coaches in the space of 3 years. Tak ada consistency di sana. Donny van de Beek pun tak dapat game time at all. Under 3 different coaches. Hakim Ziyech pun sudah main under 2 different head coaches yang berbeza dengan style yang berbeza. I think bukan aku nak cakap that the Premier League is probably a difficult league and it's probably a step up daripada Ajax untuk kesemua pemain ni. Tapi aku also rasa yang ada banyak lagi faktor-faktor di sebalik kenapa mereka kadang-kadang struggle untuk beraksi dengan begitu baik.
Sebab semuanya orang kata gel bawah Ten Hag. Ten Hag ada satu sistem yang got the best out of each and every one of these players kan. So bila diorang pergi ke scattered teams mungkin performance level tak sama disebabkan diorang tak dapat peluang yang sepatutnya.